clear in the
That's going to be the final blow by Edward. Caltee's going to be stunned up, but has the heavy spin. It does not matter. It's the first blood picked up by Echo, but the turtle will be slain by Blacklist International. Killed or objective. Benny going to be slain in the gold lane. Blacklist strikes back, making it equal.
2 ults spent by Blacklist up top. Echo takes 2 down in the bottom, but they do get Turtle. I'm talking about Blacklist. Was that worth it, LaFell?
I would say it's not that worth it because, in my personal opinion, getting kills is very good because you can establish map pressure. Because what's the objective of getting the turtle? Sure, you want the gold. Sure, you want the XP, but you want more control. Now, Edward going up against Sanford taking quite a bit of damage, and Sanford's going to get chased.
Circling Eagle onto Sanford here. Haji does not have the feather airstrike. That's the basic attacks coming in. Sanji not going to be here to help him in time. Sanford falls in the XP lane.
The Festival of Blood lifesteal is just not enough at this level. 3 minutes in, and I'm not sure if there's enough. Yeah, no, none at all into the emblems.
Many though, look at that. That's going to be the damage coming in. The Numenal Blast charged in, but knowing that Oheb has the Purify, they decide not to commit just yet.
Yeah, looking at all of the emblems as well as the way that they're setting up, Sanford, his personal goal in this game is to get at least 3 kills. Once he has that 3 kills, he will maximize his emblem. Oh my Venus getting poked out just a little bit. But now, looking at the map, if Echo could give those 3 kills over to Sanford, we can see Echo being a little bit more explosive.
You can expect that Sanford's going to look for it. He's going to pressure Edward hard here. Sent him home just now because they want to time the way that this turtle goes. Again, we're 20 seconds away. Benny Cutie pressuring Oheb as well. Oh my Venus and Yawi playing footsies, making sure that their gold laner gets the advantage.
The zoning come again, right? This is what we kind of expect in the gold lane matchup. Harith, once you get to level 4, isn't really going to be able to threaten the Tunox. And even in the XP lane, we saw that Edward was winning early on. Now that Sanford has gone that level 4, has gone a few items down, it's a bit tough for Benedetta.
Oh, turtle already spawned. Carlteasy spots out Haji. Yeah, there's the RWM.
Not going to be able to find anything else though. The stun does connect with the feather airstrike connecting onto Sanford. The Petrify locks him down. Edward finds the pick up. Blacklist International now with a man advantage. Rotating around the turtle, circling Eagle onto Yawi. He's going to be able to find his stun. Carlteasy jumping in. Numenal Blast charged in with the Flicker as well. Oheb with no Purify here. Doesn't use it just yet. Why still winning the Retribution battles at top? This is on force. Now Yawi going to be able to dodge away for now. That's a lot of burst damage as Yawi will be slain by Edward. Echo losing out in the straight.
Blacklist has amazing battlefield awareness. They knew exactly where every member of Echo was. They almost threatened orange steal from Carlteasy, but they're not done.
A stun and a knock-up. It's still Matilda Airlines here for Blacklist International.
Blacklist is showing what they want to do with this draft. You want to establish control. You want to make sure that the Riverside, you're winning. And the specialty of having a Matilda is when someone overextends, they're not really overextending. In the previous fight, in the Turtle, they were very focused. What do we want to do? Turtle first, but now they want to kill.
And they get it, right? It's onto Venus, the roamer.
Anything that Echo can get here in the first 5 minutes, they will. In the first 2, they were willing to trade and get some advantages, but now wait, a stun onto Oheb, forced out the 7 force.
Pops the Purify as well. The real world inflation almost catches Oheb, but he is able to get out of that one. Haji rotating towards the gold lane with a feather airstrike to clear it out, protecting his tier 1 up top.
This is difficult because we said for Echo, for them to win, they have to win the lanes. Here in the early game, not exactly the story because Blacklist now ahead maybe 1.5K. LaFell, what's going on?
I would say it's not enough because Blacklist, they understand this as well. So as long as they delay, as long as they wait for Oheb to get 2 items, then it's basically they're already doing at least half of their win condition. So it's not about Echo not doing it. It's more about Blacklist saying this time and time again, we understand how your draft works, so we're just going to play around it. So even though, okay, so here's the thing. Echo, they needed to win by 2K, by 2,000 gold. That's LaFell's threshold. So if Blacklist having 1.5K lead ahead, they're really at the driver's seat.
Well, right now, it does seem that way, but Echo are going to be able to force it out. Oheb going to be caught low, but Venus comes in to save Oheb again. Haji with the rotation, circling Eagle to lock Yawi down. Good selection right now. So the airstrike will come through. Yawi going to be able to get the stun down onto Venus before he gets taken low. Now, guess who's here? It's Sanji with real world inflation. jumping in, but there you go. It's gonna be the guiding way. Haji gonna be slain though by Benny, who uses the chaos to take him down. Sanji still poking Venus down. Echo are looking to get the siege down onto the tier 1. Meanwhile, on the turtle side, Carl TZ is going to be taken low with Sanford with the 2v2. That's going to be Bravest Fighter popped into the back line right now. As Carl TZ is going to be able to find it, and Wise is going to fall. Edward finding the stun onto 2 with an eye for an eye to dodge away from the CC. But still, Echo, they win out on that trade.
Not just that trade, but on 2 fronts. They pushed up top, got a kill down bottom, and took the last turtle of the game.
We got a lot here because, again, 500 gold, that's great, but Sanford having 1 kill. He has 1 stack on his emblem, and now looking at this, Carl, he's in too deep.
He's looking for a steal here. He does get the orange buff, not punished enough by Black International. Oheb and Haji falling in the gold lane once again. We spoke about this. Winning lanes is how Echo can get it done, and Benny, 3 kills on him right now.
Finest example of caster curse. You start talking about it, you start questioning it, and it comes up almost immediately. Yaoi with the Numenal Blast!
Deathness welcome to cancel it out. That's the anti-CC coming in. As Sanji does the damage onto the tier 1. Bravest Fighter by Sanford just to get out. Gets that anti-CC down, unstoppable. Meanwhile, Blacklist International trying to make their way up to the gold lane. Gonna be poked down by Benny as Carl TZ sieging down that tier 2 in the gold lane. Carl TZ gonna be careful here, takes the turret down, gets out with relative ease.
What a swing for the House of Highlights. Unbelievable. I can't believe that maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago we were talking about how Blacklist was ahead, possibly way past the LaFell threshold, but now it's Echo who's pushing it, 2.5k ahead.
Well, they have gone way and above the threshold, and the way that they did it is because they understand, okay, we're just going to stay in lane. There's no use trying to out-rotate Blacklist at this point, so we're just going to say because Oheb is going to be the one that's going to deal a lot of the DPS damage later on, so shut him down first. Right now, there might be a skirmish in mid.
For the airstrike was used up just to clear up the waves. Echo, with his composition so far, can constantly be threatening these sieges. And also, they can also be looking for a lot of plays on the map. A lot of kill pressure here in their lanes.
Yep, and that's why they're ranked first in average kills so far. 16 plus, because the way that they attack the game, the way that they approach it with their strategy is they want to convert from kills. They don't want to take objectives only. They want to win first and then go from there, which is, I think, what they're doing here. They're baiting the Lord. This is a Lord dance if I've ever seen one.
Oh, Sanji's taken low. Edward jumps in, but Sanji flickers out for the final blow. The Petrify still available by Edward right now as he uses eye for an eye, but Sanford notices that. Jumps in with the Bravest Fighter. A lot of resources spent already as Wise looks for a better position. Haji going to be able to actually dash in with the wings by wings as that's the Numenal Blast connecting onto Edward. Edward going to be taken low, taken down by Sanford. And that's going to be a 50-50 play around the Lord. Wise here versus Carl TZ, and Carl takes it down. There's a bond force by Oheb. Not enough to deal with damage right now. Yaoi's going to be able to get the stun down onto Haji, who's going to be able to dash out of that one with the wings by wings. Feather airstrike to snipe Sanji down. Benny! With the dash, takes the kill onto Haji.
Was that Benny Cutie DD? No, didn't even need the flicker.
Dude, that was Benny QT. And again, looking at the items here, because we got to see whether they are strong now or not. Looking at Benny Cutie, having 3 core items, Cloud Destiny, Lightning Treasure, as well as Divine Glaive. Right now, oh my Venus getting engaged by Yaoi.
Numenal Blast again, locking the Queen down. Venus gonna be chased down under the tier 2. Wise here providing the support. Carl TZ looking for an angle, but will back off for now. Tier 1 falling in the mid lane. Echo pushing the pace and the tempo.
Thou shalt not take my queen, says Wise. Echo pressuring mid lane tier 2, even tier 2 down bottom. That's Sanford going solo, Lord up top. Echo is 5k ahead here, 11 minutes in.
It's still not over because Blacklist International, they can still come back because they have a very beefy front line, as well as a lot of damage coming in from Haji and Oheb. Oheb just finished the Holy Crystal. Looking at the damage from Haji. Haji can't connect it just yet. Carl TZ is spotting people out. The Lord is here. Will Echo engage?
They will. Numenal Blast charged up already. Just to zone the other members away. Oheb jumps in with some on force. Wise in the front lines, providing the support. Real world manipulation, baited in. Sanji not dealing enough damage for now. Blacklist just backing off. Echo doing the same thing. Noticing they have the lead. It's disciplined plays from Echo.
Relatively safe defense and siege from Echo. They did their best to get the most out of that Elemental Lord, but we have a Luminous one possibly coming up in a minute and a half, forcing out a feathered airstrike. Echo is relentless. They're not leaving.
Yeah, but look at the way Blacklist, they're defending themselves because they're not necessarily sacrificing their own HP just to defend their base. Like, they're defending everything without taking too much. So now Blacklist, they're preparing themselves. In case Echo wants to engage, they can fight back. The problem is, Echo, they're not engaging. They know that they have a lead and they're not going to lose the lead. Looking at the items as well, oh, but before that, looks like everyone is just clearing everything out. Looking at Haji, he already has 2 main items. He's waiting for his own Holy Crystal. Once he has the Holy Crystal, the kill pressure is going to be a lot onto Echo. So right now, Blacklist, it looks like that's what they're waiting on. They're waiting for their carries to actually complete the items first.
It looks like Echo has cornered Blacklist into their base, and this is the trademark Blacklist defense. A lot of teams worldwide have been on the receiving end of this defensive rubber band, and it's not impossible that Blacklist still comes back, but with Echo at 6K playing this defensively, playing this disciplined, waiting for this Lord coming up in 5 seconds, it looks like Echo also knows how to combat that.
It's going to be really tough now with a 7,000 gold lead technically built up by Echo. But with Blacklist minimalizing their losses, it seems like despite that 7,000 gold deficit, they're still able to contest, they're still able to open up the map without grouping up as 5.
Yeah, looking at the map as well, Blacklist, they're not really moving away from each other. They should understand that this Lord is going over to Echo for free. Having that Lunox makes it very difficult for you to contest.
And that's the power spike we're looking at. Echo, this is the inevitable. They have set themselves up for success here. And for Blacklist, the answer is to send Agent Zero, send Edward into the long lane and try to push that because not a single tier 1 has fallen for Echo.
They didn't even have to use the Retribution, by the way. So Karltese was able to steal the purple buff away. So right now, again, Echo are just building up the way, slowly but surely, to finally take some base turrets down.
This is what kind of feels bad as a Baras. You kind of don't care too much about your buffs getting taken away, but what you do care about is it's hard for you to maintain those stacks because Baras is at his strongest at like, what, 15 stacks? Because looking at Wise now, that is a pretty small Wise.
That's a small dinosaur there, and you're right. While Echo's taking away even the small camp, the small creeps in Blacklist jungle, and then freezing the waves, waiting for it to sync with this Lord, then this is the best that Blacklist can do. Oh, there's a couple of ults spent in. Oh, very low.
And we're going to be caught on the Luminant Blast as Benny jumps in with the damage. And that's the combo, the notorious one. As Echo now looking for the siege into the base turret in the mid lane. Lord still marching in the top lane. Concealed play, going to be popped in. Echo looking for more. That's the airstrike popped in, but look at Stanford, he flickers under Haji, but he's going to be able to get out for a bit. Haji going to fall. The circling eagle does not save the queen. Oheb, the last man standing, but Echo will secure game number 1.
Ang limang Echo fans make noise all around as their team takes game 1. It's a long journey, folks. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So game 1 is great for momentum, but they still gotta watch their backs. Blacklist will pick up so quick from this victory.
Looking at this game, the reason why Echo could beat out Blacklist International is not that Blacklist necessarily made a mistake, is that Echo did not make a mistake. Because with their draft, having the Matilda, they're trying to bait out Echo to over-engage, overextend, use all of their skills early to get any kind of objectives and then fight back. But Echo, they did not do that. They won the lane. They made sure that Oheb was heavily pressured, and then after that, it's like, okay, just don't overcommit. Just take things slow, and then end the game, get profit.
Orcas are killer whales, right?
Correct.
And that's exactly why they know how to use the kill pressure so well. In the gold lane, they knew Lunox versus Herod is a winning lane for the Lunox. Benny QT on a winning matchup. That's already a recipe for disaster if you're a Blacklist fan. Now, they utilized that so much by ganking towards the Lunox. Early on, they weren't going to be able to find those kills, right? But as the Lunox progresses, with the levels starting to gain up, and with those items starting to stack up, that's when the Lunox gets the power spike in the mid game, and they utilized that perfectly.
Not just the laning phase, actually even in team fights, Oheb's Harith was in such trouble. Again, we saw there the winning moment from the eyes of Sanford. His Lapu-Lapu here, despite having a difficult 5 to 6 minutes, picked up. Again, I think he was just waiting for LaFell's timing and saying, you know what, I need a couple of kills, I need the blood the Festival of Blood have triggers
Yep.
and the Bloodlust Axe.
Exactly.
And then even OHEB is in trouble. So with that being said, I think we're going to need the help of our analysts to break this down. There's a lot that happened here, starting with the draft, a lot as well that went into the mid-game spike for Echo, and even Blacklist struggled to find the rubber band. That's what's scary about the squad, the Orcas. Again, you're right, they're killer whales. When they smell blood, they go for it, and they have perfected the execution. Even when it comes to lore dances, fellas, right? It's so hard to deny that Echo knows exactly what's happening. So with that being said, we're just waiting for our analysts to call in, because I'm pretty sure they'll have a field day with this. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remind you that Battle Night is about to happen. That's happening on January 21st. We've got a lot going on, so make sure you log into the game. There's a lot of in-game bonuses that y'all can have, all right? Extra BP, star protection points, free hero access, epic skins that come out that very night, so make sure y'all log in, all right? That's happening on January 21st. Let's all celebrate the M4 World Championships. Whoever takes it home, whether it be Echo or Blacks International, let's all celebrate and tell all of your friends. Now, folks, I think we've said enough here on the desk. It's Lafel, Mirko, and Leo throwing it over to the analysts, because they're going to talk about the draft, show us who the MVP is, because I still think it's not so clear cut. Real quick, who do you think it is?
Oh man, it's a really tough
Benny
one
Cutie.
here. You're gonna say Benny, I'll say
I'm saying
Sanford. Both of the side lanes.
Okay.
know
Now
what,
I'm
Sanji?
confused.
I have to swap. Sanji, there you go.
You said, because between Benny and Sanford, that's exactly the perfect setup or payoff. Who's who, right?
I mean, like, okay, let's just slowly talk about it, because Betty Cutie, he stopped the win condition for Blacklist. I mean, to be fair, Blacklist, they gotta win the river, they gotta win the jungle. But it could not happen, even if, say, this game extends a little bit longer, right? Betty Cutie will scale up. Wise will not be able to sustain the damage coming in from the Lunons, because again, there's no Estes, there's no healing. He can run away, but when he comes back, it's not gonna be much. So for me, it's Betty Cutie.
Okay, Ding Ding, Sanford, or Sanji?
You know what? I'm gonna make a last minute change here. I think I'm gonna give it to Carl TZ, actually. The hidden carry.
Okay, best in the world. Let's see who it actually is, because it's time for the analysts to break it down. Hey, fellas, talk to us.
Great MVP predictions so far. Thank you so much, Leo, Lafel, and as well as Mirko. Here at the Analyst Stand, we're going to break it down to you to uncover the mysteries of what this code is so far and what Echo is doing correct. My name is Gideon Q. This is going to be Most Wanted in Southeast Asia, Wolf, as well as Assassin Dave. You are going to be the mediator here, and it's important that you give a non-biased opinion. I repeat, a non-biased opinion. But with that being said, let's break down straight from the draft. I mean, so far, really strong start coming in from Echo.
Now, I gotta say, I really like the Lolita come from Yaoi, because every time you give this player anything that can initiate, that can set up a good team fight, this player will pop off. And you saw it in the last game, right? The entire set of Echo, they had a momentum. They understand which objective do they want, which tower do they want to pressure. Yep. And you saw Yaoi was set up camps on the top tier 1 tower, and they find a lot of early game pressure to mid game pressure.
Oh, there's already the code that Blacklist International has done, right? We know the pattern of what they're doing. Actually, if you're looking at that game, it's a pretty standard Blacklist game. What Echo did differently this time is they snatched this hero, Lolita. That's why I really agreed with Assassin Dave when he said that Lolita was a great pick, because not only does it like present to us how good Yaoi was, but also how good the drafting plan was for the side of Echo. They countered everything that Blacklist wanted to do with their picks.
Well, if we're talking about the draft, I mean, those are the bans, but the picks overall, I think to the naked eye, most people would understand that, honestly, they're kind of the same thing. They have the exact same goals with very slightly different tools.
Yeah, and I want to mention that in this game, it's one of the first games in the entire series that we do not have any marksman at all. Right? Like, there's a Lunox versus OHAB on the Harith, on the goal lane, which is quite interesting, because Benny's Lunox actually counter Harith in the late game. You can one-shot with the combo that Lunox has in the kit, and you can look at items Benny is fully decked out on damage items, no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, he didn't need to because of the fact that he has a lot of peeling, right? You have Yakai to frontline for you, you have Lolita to kind of save you in those dire situations, and the Lapu Lapu as well. Blacklist International, like we said, this is the normal code, a standard place like I'm Blacklist International, but the order of picks allowed for Echo to actually kind of win over those matchups. Lapu Lapu kind of wins versus Benedetta in many regards. Akai can win versus the Akai if you think about it, or it's kind of 50-50 if you think about it, but of course Yawi, not only did he prevent like the combo of Blacklist International, he also protected their own Lunocks. That's why I really like how Echo designed game number 1.
Yeah, and I like it too. Personally, when it comes down to the little details, the little tools that they have, I mean, the fact is, Yves, it's really hard to break her out of the real world manipulation unless you have a suppress. And again, I mean, Oh My Venus can't really do much about it. The same goes for Edward, but you can't say the same thing for Echo because you have Lapu Lapu jumping in on the far side, which already is one difference maker. Let's not forget about the invulnerability coming out of Benny QT.
Absolutely, and one thing that I want to mention for Echo in the game 1 was momentum, right? It felt like in the beginning of the game, Blacklist really captured the momentum of the game, but somehow towards the mid to late game is when Echo really start pushing, right? They push a top tier 1 tower, they find the objective-based play, and they give them so much clarity on exactly what they need to do. With a player like Yaoi on the setup, whew, that was just clear gameplay.
Yeah, it wasn't easy though. For 7 minutes, they kept on trying to break the momentum of Blacklist International. Blacklist leading a little bit. Echo was trying to take out Oheb up top. Eventually, after 7 to 8 minutes, Sanji was able to land the killing blow onto Oheb. It did, it did require them to have a lot of tries, but they were successful in the end. And 2-0-8. We saw this, Gideon. We reacted to this. His flicker to the left side during the Lord fight, that was crazy. That was, what, criminal?
That was criminal gaming for sure.
He is just stealing hearts and stealing minds at this point. The conditioning is starting to build up, but this is only game number 1. So people at the caster's desk, this is your MVP going over to Sanji. I'll let that sit in for a little bit longer, but I think, we really have to make sure that the draft doesn't escalate for this, especially if you are in Blacklist's position. Are there adaptations that we're expected to see?
Yeah, and Sanji, well-deserved MVP here. I want to mention one of the lore fight you talk about, he flickered to the left side. That was beautiful, and also he was lingering with 1 HP, right?
Yeah.
Very little HP, and it still has so much impact. Just to show you how much impact he had in the early game, this is from the beginning of the game to 5 minutes. You can take a look at Sanji's heat map, right? This guy in the mid lane was dominating the mid lane and started voting towards EXP because Turtle was towards the bottom side in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and then eventually you will go to the gold lane where they want to really kill Oheb back up top. They know that the way for them to win the mid-game team fights is to deny Oheb to the farm. But then again, you can see a Blacklist International how many times they have saved Oheb. Now Oheb also played it well, but eventually they will have to fall to the tempo of.
In the beginning, Blacklist had a momentum because they understand that win condition as well.
Right.
That's why you saw Farsa going towards the top side help Oheb so much. I think we're gonna capture some highlights here. Whoa, this is one of the engages, even though the Turtle went through Blacklist, but Echo got 2 kills out of it.
I think even more so, like you could see just the small little plays coming out from everybody here. They're trying their absolute best to make sure that they minimize the profit coming in from either side. But once the momentum started to fall into Echo's favor, I think this is where things started to change, especially for the gold lane.
That's right. We have to talk about Krautings here, right? Although we aren't seeing a lot, the way he secured all of these turtles, then eventually the First Lord, then constantly just applying the pressure against Blacklist International while keeping himself safe and really just region around the Lord area. I think that's also amazing coming out from Krautisi himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Here from the highlights, you see how clear Echo rotation were, right? They know exactly where they're going. They know exactly which tower they're trying to get. And sure enough, it paid them many dividends. And I think going to game 2, Blacklist need to think about their momentum as well. Once they had a game plan, you stick to the game plan instead of being disrupted by Echo.
I see.
Yeah, we are not allowed to predict the draft because we're not going to be drafting, right? But I kind of want to project. I think Lolita is going to be a prime commodity next game.
All right, Lolita could be the commodity here. Casters, are you ready? Because game 2 is about to begin. Take it away.
The bespectacled boys of the analyst standard getting heated. Who wouldn't, right? With a matchup like this, Blacklist International versus Echo, with the Orcas drawing first blood. There's a huge case for everyone to be MVP, but yes, we had to take our hats off for Sanji there. Real quick, let me remind everybody about the M4 Battle Night goes live this January 21st. Expect loads of events and rewards up for grabs in-game. First off, complete battle tasks in the game on January 21st to get a skin choice chest. You can choose a skin you like the most from the chest. Aside from that, battle bonus awaits you on the same day. Play matches and you'll get team star protection for 3 matches, double star raising points, double protection points, double EXP and double BP for 5 matches. We are not stopping there. 5 matches. Again, you gotta play them. Free access to all heroes and loads of epic skins will also be available that very day. Save the date, log into the game on January 21st, enjoy the matches you play, and win tons of rewards. Let's all celebrate the M4 championships together, including your friends. I'm on desk here with Mirko and Lafel, and again, it was mentioned earlier and they showed us everyone can carry from Echo.
And that's why we had such a hard time predicting the MVP for game number 1, right? Because, sure, you said it was Benny. Benny did maybe close to the most damage onto the Barats, especially just melting him down. Sanji with very good zone, very good damage too. In the end, I said Carl Tizzy, right? Because the way they played in that team fight was every single member from the side of Echo had their own agenda, had their own tasks, right? They were going to dish out damage. Some of them are going to put Blacklist in a disarray where the front to back that Blacklist have drafted for themselves would not work. Meanwhile, Blacklist, they played for this one vision, one mission. And that's what gave Echo the upper hand.
So now we got to look at the hero pick recap, and yeah, Sanji did a lot of damage, 59,000 damage. That is a lot. But yes, like you said, the way that they're moving around with this draft, I would say this is quite a difficult draft for you to play discipline at, because there's a lot of ways for you to start the fight. So you are tempted to actually start the fight. But the way that they're doing it is they completely understand we don't have to. As long as Blacklist are not here, are not present to protect their turrets, to protect their jungle, then we're just gonna focus on getting the objectives. Like we see Echo, they can play explosively. But it looks like for this game, they have very much matured. And I like that I said before, they learn fast, and they learn very fast. In this game, they're only doing what is necessary.
Yep, in hindsight, given what Echo has employed, it's a clear box strategy. Again, you see it on the map. It's the Eve, and then you have the Akai who either pulls someone in or pushes them out. For Blacklist, I think they were put into a position, forced into a position wherein they had to break that box. If they couldn't, then they were on the back foot, and that's why Game 1 went to Echo.
And I love the fact that in the early game, right, Echo, the way they played it was they're completely fine with actually throwing bodies at Blacklist International. Sure, here, have a frontliner, have another, because it's always just Yaoi and Carl Tizzy who actually gets taken down, right? With that, they give so much space to the other carries, the Sanji, the Sanford, and even Benny to pop off.
And folks, with that being said, it's so important, again, to pay attention to the draft. You can't go into war without the right tools, the right equipment to win you those battles. Going into game 2 here, it's about time we get into the draft. Lafel, what changes do you expect?
I'm expecting a change in the way that they're drafting for OHEB, because even in their key to victories, you got to look at OHEB to really carry the game, and for him to have an easier time, he needs to make sure he wins the lane. Sometimes that does mean you're going to delay your hero a little bit, potentially getting banned out in the later stage of the game, but at least you have the information to know what's going on. And in fact, looking at the draft right now, we talked about it in the pre-show where Blacklist International, they do the best as a second pick. So far right now, in the first pick, they don't have the necessary information of what Echo wants to do. So, you know, it's one of those things that we don't talk about so much, but as a team, not having their preferred, I would say, side to pick and ban may actually hurt them as well.
And that's exactly what's very interesting here, right? Because Echo, they do better in the first pick position. Now they're actually popping off on the red side of the map, second pick. Meanwhile, for Blacklist, like you mentioned, they do enjoy being the second pick a bit more. We saw from the statistics earlier on, 72% win rate. But here, you can see the adjustment also made by Echo. In game number 1, they banned out the Estes in the second phase of draft. Now, they're prioritizing it here, but they're leaving out a hero. Open. Blacklist did this. They banned it. Fredrin.
And now, this just shows the priorities that Blacklist have. Being here in blue side, having that one pick is so powerful because you get to build the lineup around it. And the answer by Echo is a Farsight and a Glue. The Glue, more of a hero that we don't ever see. And given that the Fredrin was the focus for Blacklist, now Echo have, again, solid choices for drawing that box.
My question is, because they picking up the glue, are they like trying to bait Blacklist International to picking up the Faramis? Because the Faramis is one of the counters for glue, but it looks like they're not going to bite. They're just going to take the Valentina.
Nope.
And this shuts down a lot of playmaking ultimates, just like the Grok with his wild charge. But before we go even further, this is a quote by Tic Tac. Their chemistry is really solid since they've been together for a long time. It's so hard to cut them down. This is the hardest part in fighting Blacklist International.
And I completely agree, Coach Dick. They have been together even before they won the World Championship. Yep. And now a year has passed and they're still here. They're still making a claim for that trophy that we're all looking at, the center of the stage. Going into the second phase, Echo bans out XP lane choices because, again, Sanford's happy with the glue. They go ahead and ban out the Lapu Lapu. I just gotta say, there's an odd absence of joy.
Yeah, the joy here not really going to be prioritized by any of the teams in the first phase. Heck, we might even, we might even actually see it ignored completely in the draft for game number 2. Joy is a bit of a gimmick hero. That's what I call her, right? Because it's all about just distracting the enemy team. Anyways, though, I do want to talk a little bit about this XP lane or just Blacklist International's draft, because in a lot of their drafts here, we usually see that Fredrin is used as a flex pick. Not for Blacklist, though. Every single time the Fredrin is picked up by Blacklist, well, not every single time, but 90% of the time, it's jungle, right? Yeah. They always want a playmaker on Edward. That's the reason you're still seeing that Lapu ban here, the respect being given out, and also the Claude ban. They want to get rid of a hero that can blink out of the Detonus Welcome, can blink out of the real pure engage from the glue, and even from the poke that's coming in from the Farsight.
But I still like the way that Blacklist are drafting, because we've discussed that the way that they're going to win is through OHEB as well as Edward. So now that they've seen at least 80% of the draft coming in from Echo, now they should have enough information to really understand what kind of heroes they should get, because if OHEB and Edward loses lane, they're going to lose priority in the jungle or the riverside, and that's really going to impact how Blacklist plays. So these last 2 picks will really impact, because at least now they've seen the Brody. What do you want to use against the Brody?
They still need to put yes, but they also still need to put a hero on Agent Zero, and that might be the key. Benedetta's still open here, but it looks like Echo has an answer. Oh, nope, there you go. We mentioned the joy.
And
they left it open.
It's the Franco from Yaoi too. I love it, right? Again, we mentioned about the joy. More of a distraction than a prio pick, right?
Yes.
But it is a good pick here. Noticing that Blacklist International, they're going to have that back line really targeted down by Echo. So what the joy is going to do here is to create space by being that annoying hero in the enemy back line. Thing is, though, Echo waited for this. They knew it was coming, right? It was either they went for a Kufra pick, a Cho pick, or they see the Joy, instantly they go for the Franco, they can lock the Joy down.
Yeah, but given that Cho is banned out, Echo had the ball in their court. It was their shot to make. You mentioned the Kufra. Yaoi had a lot of
crazy games on the Kufra.
Chance to play that, but instead they go for the Franco. You know, a game lost be damned, but we don't care about it going into the Valentina. We don't care if Haji gets it. And looking at it, is it going to the hands of Valentina? Yes, of course, yes, Haji, because again, there's a Fredrin. That's definitely Wise's hero.
Yeah, I'm just going to say we're going into game number 2. Blacklist International going up against Echo. And what I wanted to say was that Echo picked up the most banned hero of Blacklist International. They keep banning out this Franco. So now Franco in the hands of Echo. This might be a bad game for Blacklist.
Yep, and the reason why is because it breaks the Ube. You don't get to engage on your terms. And in the hands of the playmaker, Yaoi, it's going to be a great way to, again, either set up a box that Blacklist is not comfortable with, or break whatever Blacklist is trying to do.
And this is a similar approach to, again, what RRQ did against Echo yesterday, right? They picked up that Franco, but unfortunately for RRQ, they didn't have anything to build around the Franco. Meanwhile here, I was questioning the Brody pick earlier on. I was like, what? Brody into Lolita? Then you see the Franco and you're like, there you go. That's what it was for. You hook the opponent away, and what's the Lolita gonna do, right? Sure, she can actually jump in, flicker maybe to get that shielding down, but it's a bit too risky. And if Venus is on the receiving end of the hook, it's gonna be a lot to go with here. And Venus right now is going to be caught. Yaoi going to throw the iron hook. Good dodge by Venus.
Yeah, looking at this game, Blacklist International, I would say after the group stages, this Franco is a nightmare for them because it is the reason why they've lost. So now we got to see their evolved form. Have they been able to find a way to fight against this Franco? Right now, looking at the lanes, not a lot is going on. Wise goes down to fight against Sanford, but I don't think they can secure a kill here.
Too sustainable, gets out of that one. Wise is level 4, Carl TZ as well. Both of these junglers clearing very, very fast. In the end, it's Haji who actually steals the gold buff away.
Yep, looking at a potential 3v3, 4v4 down bottom as they both jockey for position, finding a good pull for this Lord. It looks like Echo is the one first on the scene. Carl TZ whacking away. Oh, there's a ult!
Yeah, Sanford zoning very, very well here with the split as well. Bringing Wise away. Numenov Blast gonna be charged in. Onto Carl TZ, but no! It's Yaoi who finds the iron hook and Carl TZ finds the retribution. Edward on the back line. That's a stolen for the airstrike as the Bloody Hunt comes down onto Edward to lock him down. Sanford finding Wise, the flicker over. Edward picking up another. It's a 2-for-1 right now. Echo still equal though in terms of the trade because they secured the turtle.
I like how Blacklist played that fight just now because even though they were focusing on the turtle, they kind of understood that it's not 100%. It's not even 50-50. It was kind of a 60-40 at that point. So they tried to find the alternate win condition around the turtle, which is try to get a little bit more kills. So they were willing to expand a lot of their resources there. Looking at the items right now, really not a lot of power spikes just yet. The Beatrix here, piloted by OHEB, understands that there is a chance he's going to get attacked, and right now Carl TZ is getting attacked.
He is the frontliner though, so he's happy taking that damage in. Haji is going to be the one losing a whole lot of HP from Sanji. Venus does too, and now that mid control is for Echo.
And you're seeing here the difference between Haji and Sanji, a Valentina and a Farsa. It seems like now, when the ult is ready on Sanji, he's just willing to pull it out and then force Haji to respond. It's all about timing. It's all about engagement.
Oh.
And Yaoi, did he do it? No, the Filipino sniper still confirms the gold crab.
That was an insane calculation, man. An insane micro play by OHEB, right? He knows exactly how it was going to go down. Even with the snipes there.
I gotta say, in my head, he was holding his breath and like,
Yeah.
1, 2, pump, just get it. And I just want to touch a little bit about the emblems because in terms of scaling, I kind of feel like Blacklist, they have an advantage because OHEB is using a marksman emblem compared to Benecutie using the assassin emblem. He's going to have a lot of damage, but still, in terms of scaling, Blacklist, they have it in the bag, and now looks like Echo, they're just going to push Blacklist away. Don't push too hard.
Oh, not an engagement that Echo wants to go for because, again, they spent a few ults there. Mind you, Yaoi still has the Bloody Hunt, still has a hook waiting on him. Benecutie as well, torn apart memory, goes for a pull. Numenov Blast charged up by the Queen. That is welcomed by Carl TZ.
And Carl TZ is going to be able to spin him out. That's a Bloody Hunt, locking Edward down. Edward taking low, but still able to survive for now. Torn apart memory can be popped in as Benny flickers forward to pick up the kill. Turtle over to Blacklist right now as Sanford jumps in with Swiss Split, bringing Venus back for the damage to come through once again. Sanji picking up. Yaoi almost finding the iron hook. That's demobilized. Haji forced the flicker out, and Echo will be able to take the better trade.
2-0. Turtle goes over to Blacklist, though, as well. It's actually Echo who took it. Wow, clear win now for the Orcas.
Yeah, clear win because they have a lot of bursts in the early stages of the game because Wise being in the front line, he can CC them for a bit, and OHEB, that was lucky that he did not get hooked, and so far OHEB will be fine. Looking at the items, clear power spikes right now. Looking at Edward, he's not going to be tanking a lot, but he can do a lot of damage because of the Genius Wand, so as long as he can prolong the fight, he can really help himself out, as well as Haji. Speaking of which, Haji is using a scale kind of itemization, so he's not going to be too strong right now, but I would say in 8 minutes, he's really gonna power through Echo.
Yeah, and honestly, I do really want to talk about how Blacklist International are negating the bully potential from the Brody, right? Because earlier we saw the lane frozen by Benecutie in that lane. Wise instantly stopped by into the gold lane, even risking his life just to help OHEB clear it out. And this is what's going to get Blacklist to that item power spike for OHEB in the gold lane. The Beatrix has been farming very well, considering that he is in a losing matchup up against that Brody.
Yep, and we're just waiting for that to flourish. We're just waiting for that to get the payoff. Bottom lane, though, you see the XP laner just leaving constantly. Very good wave clear from both the Joy and the Blue. Oh, the pull on Wise!
The Iron Hook, and that's gonna be the Bloody Hunt. Chain in with Adeptus Welcome as Edward jumps in with a lot of damage coming down. Sanji with the wings by wings, getting out. Numenor Blast and for the airstrike stolen away by Haji with the IMU. Bennett's Rage, able to find the kill onto Sanford. Carl TZ gonna be gunned down. That's the Iron Hook to provide the peel necessary for Carl TZ. It's a 1-for-1. The XP lane traded it for the jungler.
Wait, look at Benny Cutie, Benny Cutie.
Oh, watch out, Benny from the back line. Oheb hasn't spotted him yet. We're going for the turtle. There's the pull. Yowie as well. Look at this. Prime positioning from the Echo squad. Oh, he's revealed. There's the hook.
Yeah, we missed it. Gonna be stunned up. Venus actually onto the turtle. Carl TZ with a quarter of his HP bar. Oh, that's the feather airstrike prematurely popped in. Sanji's gonna be zoned away now, but Benny, again, this is the man that we're gonna be looking at. Wise, gonna be hooked down. That's the moment for Benny to jump in. That's the damage coming through the turnaround memory as well. To take the turtle and to take Oheb. Carl TZ with Adeptus Welcome. Not gonna be able to find it just yet. Sanford onto Venus, bringing him back. Numenor Blast gonna be popped in, but he's not gonna be able to get charged all the way. Edward, stunned up, suppressed. Bloody Hunt popped in. Yaoi gonna fall to the hands of Edward as Sanford still wants to keep on going. Sanji rotating back into the mid lane. Wise gonna be brought back. It's a pause here in the 7th minute of the game.
Messy engagement, and the payoff was just about to come up. Benny Cutie able to hide in that bush, put a few marks on several members of Blacks International, plus on the turtle, which allows Echo to pummel on through forward, but you can't discount the fact that Blacklist played that very well as well.
Yeah, Blacklist played it very well, but again, Benny Cutie just understanding the situation, not understanding like just his hero, just Blacklist hero, but he's like, okay. Because I kind of feel like a lot of people looking at that situation, Oheb was kind of isolated by his team. It was prime position to just stun him up, get some stacks in, and then just kill him off just like that. But he's like, no, I'm going to wait SA. I'm going to make sure everyone is close enough. He gets into turret range. He can get stacks onto a lot of people and get maximum value from his ult. And that's what he did. He got maximum value from his ult.
And again, there's a very thin line between, I guess, a mistake and being loco, right?
That was pretty loco.
That was so close for it to being a mistake, but the fact that Benny's still alive now, at the cost of Carl TZ's life, it allowed for it to be loco.
And it comes down to trigger discipline, right? The fact that he was in the bush for so long, even Yaoi is spotted, and he's still stuck. He was like,
and
okay,
no one checked the bush
I'm
as well.
committing, bro. I'm committing. And he committed, right? Because Yaoi was spawned out already, they were like, no way. There's no way a Brody is waiting in that bush.
Yep.
It turns out, that's how Benny plays, buddy.
No way a marksman will flank, right? I mean, that's like an assassin kind of thing.
Yeah, Benny's an assassin sometimes. You can kind of say he's an assassin because of the way he plays these marksmen. He flickers forward, he looks for flanks, and here, we're going to see the player head-to-head.
Never let them know your next move. That's what Benny did. Never let them know your next move.
And that's what makes him a force of nature. That's what makes him the storm. He just comes up. And here, leading these two players, the gold laners, are these roamers, all right? Yaoi, the playmaker, and his idol, Momshu, oh my Venus. Again, they're two different kinds of roamers, two different kind of team captains, but the way that they lead their teams are just perfect for their playstyle.
We've seen it, right? Again, Yaoi with more flashy heroes. But for Venus, it's time to enable. But here, we're going to be put in right into the team fight. Echo with... Actually, it's a pretty good trade now that I see it for Blacklist.
Benny
Not
died.
that bad.
Yeah.
Benny actually fell for the airstrike, though, from Sanji in the mid lane, making it in favor of Echo.
All right, something transpired in between the time we resumed and paused in. But for now, real quick, folks, Blacklist forcing out a push up top. Buff still secured per side, and we're looking at a possible kill on Edward.
Nope. That's Edward for you. Gets out in relative ease again, right? Echo trying pressure, but now it's just for Blacklist International to punish in the goal, well, in the other side of the map, which is going to be the XP lane. They even tried to deny as much as possible from Benny forced to use the torn apart memory to get those last hits.
This is the world stage, so I'm allowed to be a little bit more critical looking at the way that the game is transpiring. Oh,
We just spoke about this. Yaoi versus Venus, and Yaoi is going to be able to find that iron hook. Connecting onto Wise, bringing it back under the tier 1, and that's everyone collapsing. Benny with a torn apart memory back up on that cooldown is going to be able to secure it. Feather airstrike now on to Haji and Oheb. Haji going to be stunned up, has the feather airstrike, but both teams disengage.
King and the Queen in a flash goes out. I mean, Edward able to make the most of a bad situation, but LaFell, what does this mean?
First of all, I just want to say I'm so glad I was interrupted because I was about to say Blacklist was actually looking pretty good because Oheb is going to scale up and Yaoi's not hitting the hooks, but never mind. Yaoi got a very crucial hook, and the thing is, this is the time where Benny Cutie, I would say, is almost at his max because he already has his Blade of Despair as well as the Fury Hammer. Enough penetration, enough raw damage. This is the time you force the fight. This is not about waiting. If you see an opportunity, just go for it.
And it looks like Blacklist has already found their window. Haji pulling out Sanford, Carl Teasy losing the pull battle against Wise. Blacklist have a small favorable position over the Lord. It's closer to the south, closer to Wise. If they spot on Venus, Yaoi throws out a hook. And now the Lord dance continues.
It's a very slow Lord dance. It's a macro-centric play here. Mid-control. Steve's fought for, and that's concealed though. Yeah, we're gonna be able to find Haji with Bloody Hunt as well. That's the damage coming through, and a turn apart memory finds its mark. The Venom Rage to follow it through. Yeah, we're gonna be taken down. Sanford jumps in with split. Venus with the man on blast, stunning him up right now. Carl Teasy gonna be taunted up. But airstrike to the back line. Oh, it's gonna be caught. Wise now with the Appraiser's Wrath. Still able to sustain for a bit as Sanford still on that split. Jumps back away. Venus thinking low. That's gonna be Benny dealing out of damage. Now with the turn apart memory. Benny QT with a flicker forward again. Styling on Blacklist International.
That team fight could not have been better for Echo. 4 down, no clap back from Blacklist, and Echo now making a beeline straight for this Elemental Lord.
Okay, now Edward coming in, not gonna be able to steal, but yeah, in this game, objectives are important. And Sanford, he's gonna get chased, will actually get down. Yaoi stops the progression of Edward, and as I'm saying, objectives are very important, but it doesn't have to be the turrets. It doesn't have to be the Lord kills our objectives as well. And again, Echo, their draft, they have a lot of big potential. So they're really using their draft to define us. I like the way that they approached it. Don't fight the Lord. Kill them first.
And they did. They found bodies, pushed them all the way behind tier 2 down bottom. And it's putting on my Venus, who just hit the ranked first one, average assist 10.4 per game here in M4, into a weird position. When do I use Numenor Blast? When do I protect my teammates? When do I find a proactive spot, a window for us to clap back? And it's looking harder and harder by the minute. Echo pushes mid tier 1, and now they're threatening tier 2 as well. Watch Sanji, he's concealed.
Yeah, and he pops in the feather airstrike, zoning Oheb away as Edward jumps in closer. Sanji with wings by wings, getting out. Feather airstrike being popped, Sanji flickers out. Carl Teasy finding the death to his welcome onto Wise, he's gonna be stunned up again. No, blast out from Venus out of nowhere. Sanford still in the front lines. Benny QT dealing with damage right now as Edward's gonna be able to jump into the back line, but the Bloody Hunt catches Edward, and a torn apart memory silences him, takes him down. Sanji with wings by wings. Oheb gonna be taken low, forced to flicker out by Yaoi, and Sanford flicker forward. Now Echo still on the march with the feather airstrike taking Venus down. Haji is all alone, terrifying Yaoi. Still able to survive with the iron hook. Connects again, and Echo have wiped out Blacklist International. They're looking for the end. No minions on the board. They're forced to back away.
5 for 1 plus 2 major objectives pushed in by the Orcas. This is both discipline and ruthlessness. LaFell, where'd they pull this from?
First of all, I gotta say, there's a reason why Franco is the most banned hero for Blacklist International. I kind of feel like going to the next game, it has to be put into contention. Now, Blacklist, how this really happens is because Echo always finds a way to actually dish out damage onto Oheb, because every single fight, look at where Oheb is positioning. It's not that his positioning bad, it's just that he has to constantly run away. He has to run away from Benny Cutie. He has to run away from Sanji, from Sanford, from Yaoi. There's so many ways he can get caught, and it's so hard to micromanage all of it, especially when Echo, the way that they attack, sometimes Oheb doesn't see it coming.
It sounds like Blacklist has been overloaded by Burst and also a good amount of CC. And those two things are lethal against a lineup like Blacklist, against the Ube strat. And they just can't pull it off here as Benny Cutie forces a push up top. And that's a clean tier 2 tower take, gonna help open up this Luminous Lord for Echo. Now 8K ahead at 13 minutes.
That's insane. And on top of that, Benny's on a hero like the Brody, who snowballs like an absolute monster. And you can see here, this is the play by Blacklist International. They still want to contest. Lord taken to half HP. Carl TZ still on it. This is the Lord dance. At the mid lane, pressure will be popped in from Echo. 8,000 gold lead. The defender airstrike will be popped in. The zone of the members away. Carl TZ with that as well, combining in. Haji stealing. The airstrike again. The Brandon spray. Dino the Bell Blast. Why steals it away? Yowie got the money hunt, but it's all for naught. Set for all alone. Yowie's gonna be gunned down. The red ball. But Benny UT again with the back door.
Damn you, Benny! Debut of the world stage! He takes game 2 away from Blacklist International!
I just gotta say, man, the way they set up the entire map, they're setting up for a checkmate. And then Benny Cutie is like, I don't care about pawns, I don't even care about queen. I'm going for the king. And that is the crystal there right now. 2-0 Echo over Blacklist International.
What is this man made of? Oh my god, how many times has he found this play?
The storm, the typhoon, the hurricane, Bagyong Benny, born and bred to split lanes and take games.
Wow.
The shot calling, though, that was needed to make that play happen.
I mean, again, it looks like Echo is not just they understand the draft, they just understand Blacklist in general. You guys want to clump up together, go ahead. Hey, we're going to take the Lord. You're going to contest for it, right? Well, go ahead. We're going to split push. I think this is just critical understanding of what Blacklist is going to do before Blacklist even does it. Because, again, throughout the game, they're still winning the lanes. And look at how they're rotating around the map. Because, okay, I'm not the analyst here. I mean, I'm analyst on the desk, but not on the stand. But look at how when the Lord was being pushed, Sanford, he could have pushed as well, but he avoided it. He went straight to the Lord, and he didn't care about the Lord. He didn't care about the jungler. No. He just went straight to Oheb, and he doesn't care. I just want to slow down Oheb. And then because of that, everyone was focused. We got to take care of Oheb. Now that they're taking care of Oheb, wait, Benny Cutie.
Yep, it's sensory overload, and it came down to the fact that Blacklist could not respond, and that's how Echo took game number 2. More on that in just a bit. We'd like to remind everyone and give a special shout out to Secret Lab, the official gaming chair partner of M4. We're talking about a built-in lumbar support system that you can adjust to your spine, an incredible magnetic memory foam head pillow, and brand new fabrics in all sorts of colors and designs. The Secret Lab Titan Evo 2022 gaming chair is designed to keep everyone seated in incredible comfort for a long time. I'm talking about a best of 7 that goes all the way. In the MPL Philippines Grand Finals in Season 10, they went to Game 6, and boy oh boy, was I ready for more. And here tonight, I hope everyone is, but it looks like Echo are thinking something else. They're going fast here. They're going way too fast for the world champions to respond. But with that being said, on behalf of Mirko and LaFell, we're going to throw it over to the analysts.
Thanks, Leo. But today we are seeing a team that has perfected a technique. Science plus violence. Get out of the way, Hurricane Katrina, because Benny QT is going after your homes. They're going after your base. Welcome back to the Analyst Stand. My name is Getting Cute. This is going to be Assassin Dave as well as Wolf here to break it down for you one more time. This is an outstanding performance coming out from Echo.
There are a few things I want to mention. Number 1, momentum going towards Echo. Number 2, the name of the game is Sanford and Benny QT, right? Those two were popping off in that game. I mean, like, Sanford was literally 1v4ing with the glue. He's the monster, aka glue monster. I mean, like, what can Blacklist do at this point?
You know, they have to stop the momentum of Echo for sure, but it's like the opposite way around. Blacklist want to play their own brand of the game, their own code, right? And we saw that in back-to-back games. They know how to operate, they know these heroes, the ins and outs of the Ube strategy that they're trying to employ against Echo, but it's just that Echo is just stopping them in their tracks. I think that the reason why Blacklist are losing back-to-back games is because they kept on playing the same game.
Here's the thing, right? In the background, when we were talking and discussing about this draft, something about Echo that really stands out is the fact that, you know, they're not tunnel visioning anymore. They're not playing hyper defensively. They have playmaking capabilities.
Absolutely, and let's take a look at the item, right? Benny QT with 10,000 gold, closer to 11,000 gold, A11. In fact, everybody's KDA on the carry position, right? 5-1-11 on Sanford, 5-0-8 on Sunji. All these carry positions are absolutely dominating. Now, I'm interested to find out the MVP later on once we get there, because I think even though we got so much farm, so much resource to Benny, it's actually Sanford who set up the play for the teammates.
Okay, now we're going to be jumping over to the post stats here, and I'm really interested to see the overall team fight participation. Ooh. Edward having 100%, but the control from Echo. Like, imagine Edward being part of every single one of these fights, and yet Echo, not one of them, not even 100%. They are dividing and conquering so well.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about how Sanford was instrumental in this, playmaking potential, right, from coming up from Gideon. Totally agree with you guys, because I think that Echo, their shot selection in this game, particularly internal fights, was amazing, was on point. Sanford knows who to jump onto. Even he chooses sometimes Oh My Venus, sometimes it's going to be Wise. It depends on the situation, what the situation calls for, so that Echo will win those turtle fights. Then, when it comes to those crucial moments where there's like a 50-50 or even like the odds are in their favor, they utilize the spacing coming out from Yahweh's Franco and of course Galti's Daytona's welcome to displace Blacklist International for them to not get into their bubble.
Absolutely, right? Sanford on the glue monster was insane. He has pinpoint accuracy. You're absolutely on point on that. He knows exactly which person to carry away, right? In objective, in turtle fights, and also in lore fights. Sometimes to get to the back line. I remember this one time when Benny Kuti flickered in for the ultimate for 200 par memory, get a double kill, and that was all set up by Sanford. He was literally 1v4ing, taking all the damage and staying alive.
Personally, for me, I don't know what the communications coming in from Echo is going to sound like, but I can't wait for them to drop it. But let's have a look at the MVP of this game, Benny QT. Domination, and more importantly, nobody escapes this hurricane.
And I think that it is now safe for me to say, for all over the world, that he is now the holder of the gold standard, gold lane standard. The way he positions himself is amazing to look at. It's textbook, right? If you want to learn how to utilize and position a marksman, do look at Benny QT's games because of how he's able to just win the matchups in the laning stage. Eventually, team fights, his timing with the flicker and the ultimate was phenomenal.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out about Benny in this game, he put out the very characteristic and very special Echo-style split push, right? The marksman split push in the late game. Right. Just when you think, okay, the Brody has to be in the team fight. I mean, it's a marksman, that's the most damage source, he got the most farm, he has to be here. And the next thing you know, your base is gone. This guy has 45% kill participation only, and yet he's the win condition, right, for the team.
All right, let's sniff out a little bit of how Benny QT actually plays the way he does, how he positions himself with the heat map from 5 to 10 minutes here. He's supposed to be the cleanup crew for the rest of the squad. Walk me through this here.
All right, so he started with the top lane, right? But at 5 minutes where the turtle is gonna respond, a second turtle of the game, he was there. Look at him, look at that bush. This between the purple buff and the turtle. He stayed for that for a long time, then found an opening during the turtle fight, take out OHIP. That was a great play. Look back at that play. Afterwards, though, he went to the XP lane. He knows that the golden is already done for. All they need to do is to get more influence in the other part of the map so that they can set up for the next turtle.
I mean, so far this game has been looking super dominating here, and if we look at the MVP highlights overall,
that play.
When does Blacklist actually, you know, try and come back if you were in their position?
Benny QT he's like assassin marksman player.
Yeah.
You know, like he's always behind you on the side of you. Oh, this is a beautiful play by the entire side of Echo. He started off with a hook flicker from Yaoi, and then the ultimate, beautiful ultimate from Faraz the Dinosaur. It just shut down the V-Vice combo, right, from the side of Blacklist. And take a look at the bottom side. This is where Sanford set up the play. And Benny Q flickered and finished off the kill, the executioner. I want to see the split push in the end. I think that highlight was just so good. How does this guy just quietly and sneakily go into your base and take everything?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with just
Here we
the
go.
way he kind of positions himself, and more importantly so, Echo has a huge priority on where Haji is. They expect Wise to be in a certain position. They expect Oheb and Venus to be in another position, but more importantly so, they needed to ensure that the playmakers, Oh My Venus and as well as Haji, they need to know their position before they make a decision.
And Blacklist International kind of plays like you said, plays the same game. They're very good at it. I'm not saying that they're bad at it or that it is a mistake for them to keep on doing it because that's their winning formula. But it feels like in games number 1 and 2, Echo just read through that, knows the steps that they're going through, and then countered them every step of the way.
They broke the code.
There has to be a little bit of a curveball for Blacklist come game 3.
They broke the code. What can I say?
Wait, it's not
have to relax, bro.
over.
You have to relax.
It's not over just yet. It's a best of 7, but let's see what Marikar are up to.
It feels like in a land of down with all of the heroes and the players, important player, we have Dlar and Marky. Halo Dlar, apa kabar?
Baik.
Baik. Coba dong disapa dulu pakai bahasa Indonesia dong.
Indonesian words, Indonesian words.
Bisa dong, tapi masih sedikit.
Ah, he can do, but only a little bit.
Okay, sample, sample, sample.
Ako udah makan tadi.
Oh, what does that mean?
That means he have eaten.
Okay, what can you say in Bahasa?
Ako makan nakdi.
Oh, translate, Dlar, translate. Translate.
Translate in Tagalog.
Yeah.
Kumain na daw siya ng McDo.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, did you guys expect it was gonna be a 2-0 for Echo? Did you expect that performance from them?
Sa akin, hindi kasi sa tingin ko, dikit lang yung mga laban dapat. Kasi alam ko yung blacklist, laging handa yan.
Okay, he wasn't expecting it because the games are too close and he knows that Blacklists are always prepared. Dilar.
Sa akin naman ina-expect na unang aabante yung Echo. Kasi meron silang momentum, galing silang lower bracket eh.
Oh, you expected Echo to advance because they have the momentum because they're coming from the lower bracket? Okay, now, Dilar, you've been with V-Wise for 4 seasons, even before MPL, you're with them. If you can give us an inside scoop because you know V-Wise really well, how do you think they're reacting right now with 0-2? What's going through their mind? And usually, what do they say and do when they're backstage?
Tingin ko dito nagagana si Venus eh. Kasi sobrang galing niya sa gantong parte. Kung paano mag-adjust, tapos pag dumamang yung kalaban, alam niya kung paano babalik ta rin yung laban.
He thinks this is Venus' strength. This is what he's really good at. When they're down, he knows how to flip it around and use it against their opponent.
So what gonna do? What are they gonna do for
What are
the
they gonna
next match? For the next game?
Marky, what should they do? Marky! Bigatron!
Sa tingin ko, ilalabas na nila yung mga tinatago nilang bala eh.
Oh.
Marami pa silang papakita dyan. Alam mo.
He knows that they're gonna be showing a lot and they're gonna take out their hidden bullets, their hidden cards, their hidden ace. How hard is it? You know this, as a player, how hard is it to bounce back from a 0-2? How difficult?
Tingin ko depende talaga sa mentality ng player. Kung gaano sila kalakas mentally, ganun. Kapag ganito yung laban, especially pag best of 7.
It depends on the mentality of the players, how they're prepared mentally, especially in a best of 7.
But do you have any prediction for this match, this grand final match, Marky and Dlar?
Prediction?
Guwa, still blacklist.
Blacklist?
Score?
Here first, okay? Okay? Dilar, get everybody to cheer for Blacklist.
Let's go!
Blacklist, hashtag break the code.
Oh, Blacklist, hashtag break the code. Ang cute mo. Okay, for you.
Echo loud, echo proud. Pinas lang malakas, let's go.
Echo loud, echo proud. Pinas lang malakas. Let's go. Let's go, casters.
hear from our M3 grand finalists now playing for Indonesian teams, Marky and Delar. Before we talk about how we're going to set up for Game 3, how possibly Blacklist could start making their comeback, I'd like to tell you all about Gank. Never got a style when you wear and game with Gank, a lifestyle fashion brand made for the modern gamer and is the M4 World Championship official merchandise partner. Grab the M4 merchandise at www.gank.asia today. Mirko, it's odd to see our defending champions be put up against a wall like this.
It's strange, very strange, right? Because they even met in the upper brackets, right? Blacklist and Echo, when they met, Echo were able to take game number 1, but then game number 2, you saw that Blacklist was able to fight back. Here, you can see that Echo, we mentioned this earlier on as well, they have learned and they have progressed through the lower brackets, now 2-0 up against Blacklist International, who are still, playing the same way that they did in the upper brackets.
Now, here is, this is where me, as an analyst, I'm going to give my opinions, because as we're looking at the hero pick recap, I'm actually going to talk about how they're playing the map, because in the game, in Mobile Legends Bang Bang, it's about a game of trades. What do you want to trade for something else? Do you trade kills for objectives? Do you trade objectives for kills? Do you trade your buff in order to get your opponent's buff? And the way that Echo has been setting things up, they're setting up by focusing on one lane, getting a lot of resources there, and setting up a potential backdoor for Benny Cutie. So every single turret that they get is they're setting for a checkmate. So what Blacklist have to do is actually put the aggression onto Echo. Either, if they do want to scale up, make sure they have the composition that can allow them to protect their own turrets, because I kind of feel like giving the first tier and second tier turret on either side lane is very dangerous going up against Echo. So either increase the tempo of your own play to make sure that Echo cannot push, or just make sure that they draft something that can allow them to actually protect the turrets, because this is the name of the game. Protect your house, protect your turrets.
They tried that a bit, right? I mean, they went for the Beatrix, pretty good high ground with the Bennett. They went for the Valentina to try to steal the IMU because, again, the Eve was banned out. But what I personally want to talk about is the damage allocation, right? The targeting, because if you saw the hero recap earlier, in terms of damage, Blacklist were doing more. Blacklist were doing more damage consistently as well with the Beatrix, the Joy, and the Valentina. How was Echo able to win that? It's the allocation of that damage, right? It was always placed to the enemy backline, which is Blacklist. Now, Blacklist's backline is always the target of Benny, of Sanji, and as well as Sanford on the glue, who did more damage than Benny. So that just makes it super impressive how Benny was able to get the MVP, get the most kills in the game, but dealing the third most damage.
I mean, you got to put into consideration, just like you said, damage allocation, because if you do a lot of damage, but you do a lot of damage to a person that has very low HP, you're not going to look like you're doing a lot of damage compared to someone who's just attacking someone that just doesn't die. They just keep on regening.
And that's exactly the job that Sanford has most games, right? Cut into the back line, make that backline scramble, and then have Benny Cutie or Sanji ruin whatever is left of that. And with that being said, it's just moments away for us going into game number 3, and we'll see exactly how far Echo wants to take this momentum and how they're going to use that. And we'll see exactly how Oh My Venus shot calling and leadership is going to come into a moment like this for their team, wherein their backs are against the wall. It's not quite match point just yet, but this is dire straits. Agents all around the world, I know for sure, even here in Tennis and Sinayan, are feeling the pressure.
Definitely, right? As the defending champion, making it all the way here to a back-to-back grand final. There's a lot of pressure on their shoulders already.
Yeah.
On top of that, Echo, the young blood, Sanji Sanford, 16-17, they want that title. They're hungry for it.
And it's right here, center stage, seconds away from the draft. We're going into game number 3. Coaches and analysts have major decisions to make. What are we opening up for trade? It's Echo now on the play, blue side, banning out the Diggy, the Estes, and the Glue, while Blacklist take out the Cho, the 1-1, and the Eve.
I just want to say one thing.
Echo, they're showing full respect. The Blacklist International, their first pick, they're betting out the Estes as well as the Diggy, because if they can always make sure that they're getting Oheb as well as Haji, the only way that they can be saved is having a little bit more HP. So getting that out of the way, I really feel like Echo has broken the code. As long as they can sustain long in the fight, then it's GG, because Wise can be in front all he wants. We really don't care. Oheb and Haji is not there, we're gonna win. But sacrificing the Fredrin, they're getting the Fredrin for themselves and letting go of the carry. How do you feel about this?
I feel like it's a risk that Coach Treb and Tick are willing to take.
Wow.
And now even the Farsa is out of Sanji's hands. But they have a response just as quickly.
Oh my
this
God.
This is Echo showing preparedness, showing momentum, showing courage.
And showing they know what Blacklist is going to go for.
Yeah, just like how Blacklist, Oh My Venus specifically, is ready for that Estes ban, Echo seems to have a play out of their playbook as well.
There's so much to play with now if you're Echo, right? It's insane. Fredrin first pick, the carry was responded with. That was a good pick by them. But then, hey, Echo banned the Estes and the Diggy. Usually you'd see the Kaja here. Kaja was open. They also answered that backline threat that Blacklist have with their own. Here, in the Lapu Lapu, they can dive. This is such a good composition already for them, and you can see what they want to ban next. It's Barats. Every single time, they understand who to ban for. In game number 1, it was Venus who was targeted. Game number 2, you can see a mix. Now, they noticed, hey, we picked up a hero for Wise, and he hasn't picked up a hero in the first phase. It's time to really go down and ban him out.
How do you feel about this Coat Lafell Wise, who's confident in winning the M4 World Championship again because he's the only one who didn't use any assassins. He has 1,000 confidence, but how is that going to come into play here? Because that's a lot of non-assassins being banned out, specifically the Barat, and then his Fredrin's taken away from him as well.
I think what he's really trying to convey is that I don't bend towards the meta bend towards me. That's why he's really confident, because people can tell him all day that, oh, the Ling is good, Hayabusa is broken and everything like that, and he's like, sure, but my name is Wise. I choose what I want to play. And now, looking at Barats and Akai getting banned, what is he gonna play? But I will say, I'm not actually looking at Wise to really change the game. If he does, then that's great. I'm actually looking at Edward, because I kind of feel like Edward is the key going up against this kind of draft, seeing the Kaja, seeing the Lapu Lapu, seeing the Fredrin. He should be the space maker and the initiator for Blacklist International to make sure that Oheb and Oh My Venus have optimal way to actually go into a fight.
Thing is, Blacklist International, they've tried that, right? They gave Benedetta a playmaking hero to Edward. In the second game, they gave him Glue to buy a little more time. Play as a distract. Oh no, sorry, Joy, my bad. Distract, right? But it didn't work both times. Now, what's open for him is that Benedetta, right? Wise is going to pick up that box share first. I was actually thinking the Valentina in the jungle. We haven't seen it in a long time, but with the Kaja having that Divine Judgment, it's a good ult to take. Benny still wants to play that Brody, knows that up against the carry, he actually has a bigger advantage here compared to last game in terms of just laning.
If anything, since the Valentina is not banned, might go into the hands of Echo, but it looks like Coach Treb and Coach Tic-Tac are reading into it. I think they're afraid that Bonchan and Massive Basics are ready for it. Because again, it's wide open, right? But you need a good level of burst to make Echo's lineup work.
I think the better option here would be the Lilia, right? You get a bit more sustainability. You already have such a good composition to dive in, but it does seem like they... Whoa!
Whoa!
Nope, not the Valentina, not the Lilia. They want to go in.
Dude, it's like, let's end this game as quickly as possible.
They want to go in.
Dude, I'm loving this. Okay, so Edward picks up the Yuzong, and again, this is what I want to see, because he has to be the one to dictate the fight. He has to go in, but man, oh man, the burst, Kaja picks up anyone. You got the Gushin, you got the Brody. Okay, here's the thing. I love the draft. Works or not, I love the draft.
Yep, this is a throwback to about 2 or 3 months ago when MPL Philippines, MYID were in Season 10. Gushin was a hot pick. Gushin went through a career renaissance, was picked right out of ranked games into the pro scene, and here it looks like Echo are going for match point with it. Will they be able to do that? Blacklist have a solid lineup as well. Signature picks all across. What's this Yuzhong gonna do in the hands of Agent Zero? Is that enough of a instrument, of a tool to draw a line straight into the backline? Because what's the backline even for Echo? It's just Benny.
Dude, honestly, I kind of feel like it is enough because just make sure everyone is close enough together because you're just trying to distract. You're letting everyone else do the damage.
We'll see how fast Echo can go and how Blacklist answers back. This is game 3. This is for the M4 World Championships.
This is the first Gusion pick at M4 too, right? Fun
Yep.
fact. Hey, right during the break, when it was the analyst segment, me and Leo, we were talking about it. We were like, hey, Echo in game 3, they got a 2-0 lead. What are they supposed to do? Don't experiment too much in the draft. But here they are, experimenting in the draft again. In the Worlds, at the World stage. My dude, this is insane. It's Gusion's debut.
I fully trust Coach Treb and Coach Tic Tac and Echo, all right? They're putting on a show for us.
No, I mean, like, it's an experiment in our eyes.
Yes.
They probably trained this for quite a while because, again, looking at Blacklist, look at what happened game number 1. Look at what happened game number 2. They kind of just forget about Wise. They forget about Oh My Venus, and in a sense, they forget about Edward as well. As long as you get Oheb and Haji, it's all right. You probably don't even mind if Sanji dies if you can get both Haji as well as Oheb. So this is fine. And again, looking at Edward, I'm still looking at him to kind of carry because what he has to do is to start a fight, collect everyone together. That's it.
And they're going to be able to do that, but at the midway point, because again, you're also waiting for Oheb. You're waiting for this carry to hit a power spike because it's a tough way playing a carry into Brody.
It's very tough. The laning here, the matchup is not good for carry at all, right? You're going to be zoned away from your mini waves constantly. You need your Lolita or your Roamer, your jungler to hand. This is where Echo have been utilizing Benny QT's stellar M4 performance. They're always playing around the gold lane, but now it's a turtle.
Oh, and also the XP lane. Look at this. Sanford and Sanji pressuring Haji and Edward. Oh, turtle very low.
Wow, Carl TZ steals it away from Blacklist International like it's nothing. Just walks up like a Chad and uses the retribution.
I just gotta say, because we didn't really see, because we're looking at the turtle, I want to talk about the micromanagement of the wave, because Sanji, he sacrificed his own wave, and look at his Yaoi engages.
Divine Judgment of the Petrify from Sanji. Down to the Manon Blast, gonna be popped in here, but Yaoi's gonna be able to get away from that one. Not for long as Wise is able to find the kill back. A Roamer traded in for the mid laner. Still, Echo takes the trade.
LaFell, you were saying?
No, I'm just saying because during that fight, Yaoi didn't even dare to go close to the turtle because he was already at level 3. Sanji, with the Gusion, went to the EXP lane, absorbed some of that minions, while Yaoi secured the entire minion wave in mid, allowed him to get level 4. And we just saw the engagement there, but I want to talk about how Carrie's having a difficult time. It's going to be more difficult now that Yaoi already has the Divine Judgment, so Oheb, he had the bad time before, it's going to get worse.
Oh, and that's why I think King Wise and Queen V are going ahead alongside Haji. So again, they're leaving Agent Zero here to make the best of this dead lane against Sanford's Lapu Lapu. We're about 30 seconds and a quarter away from Turtle. Once more, Echo got that handily. There's a lot of burst coming in from the Orcas, giving them a 300, 400 gold lead. And in terms of items, is that enough? Oh, there's a pull!
That's the Divine Judgment, and that's all the damage placed on. Benny not going to use the torn apart memory just yet. That was a flicker burned in by Venus, and that's a W that Echo want to take, those small dubs.
Yeah, and again, as we said, you're already setting up your own playstyle. Get the level 4 as quickly as possible. Sure, it was slightly delayed because they went for something in mid, but now you can see they're putting a lot of pressure onto Blacklist International. This is what they've been doing. They're making sure that Blacklist can't stay long in their own lanes. They can't stay long in front of the turrets because they're setting things up. Yaoi is still here. Even if he doesn't go in, just the mindset of I could get engaged is very terrifying.
Oh, Black Dragon form already. Break it out.
It's on to Carl TZ now. And as you can see, Carl TZ is going to be targeted down, but a lot of damage. That's going to be the Razor's Wrath to buy a little bit more time, but he will be slain. Sanji finding Venus. Haji going to be the target right now. Sanji jumps into the Petrify as well. That's a double kill for the Gusion at M4. Sanford knocked out by the Furious side. Yaoi going to be able to dodge away right there from the skill shot from Edward, but Edward's going to be targeted down now. Sanji looking for it, gets it, and it's a triple kill. unofficial, but still a triple kill for the Gushin that's making its debut on the world stage in the grand finals.
And this propels Echo about 1,000 gold ahead, and it's just back to business. Karl'tezi making quick work of this turtle.
Honestly, in that team fight as well, Oh My Venus had a very good shot of using the Numinum Blast, but then gets cancelled by Yaoi, pulling him to the side, saying, no, my team can't handle itself. And Oh My Venus engages off Yaoi, and Yaoi escapes that, using the flicker. But again, it's all right, because Echo, they're in control. Even in the team fight, they're micromanaging everyone's skills, everyone's ults, to make sure that they don't get punished, to making sure that the Orcas are always going to be the one getting those kills.
And because of that pressure in the bottom lane and the relative absence of Blacklist from those responses in the bottom after the turtle take, they got pushed on bottom. Oh, it's a fight up top.
Haji gonna be stunned up, hands up for the airstrike. Sanji gonna be taken low, taken down, shut down by Haji. But Haji falls as well. Sanford! Oh my God! With the famous fire! Jumps in, flickers forward. He knows exactly what he was doing. He finds 2 on the board. Not even the observers can believe it.
It's going ham up top for the House of Highlights. And Sanford just as quickly rotates down bottom. Wise, they're not done with him, they're still going!
The torn apart memory slays Wise as they pick up the tier 1 in the gold lane. 3,000 gold lead.
Conversion through the roof for Echo here. They're taking trades, they're taking bodies, taking turrets. Now 30 seconds away from the turret. Where does Blacklist find an angle for a comeback?
Okay, now we're looking, Oh My Venus is gonna get punished.
Now you see him, now you don't. 2 members disappearing from out of nowhere. Oh, have dealing damage on the Sanford, who's still gonna be able to get away for a bit. Shutdown picked up, and Blacklist International strike back.
So what I saw just now, and I kind of think of the same thing, Blacklist, they got to stay inside the jungle of Echo because they need to apply pressure and they need vision. Now they don't have both because, again, we talked about it before the game even starts, how Echo is playing. They're pushing one lane, try to get 2 turrets, and then, before that, Oheb gets caught.
Here, Karl'tezi gonna be able to find that. Oheb falling in the gold lane. Karl'tezi backing off. Edward still wants to commit with a Petrify and the Furious Dive. Now Sanford on the back line, getting the stun down, but not going to be able to find it just yet. Haji with Wings by Wings and the Flicker out. Benny going to be caught here, stunned up and taken down. Sanford jumping in again. Wise still soaking all the damage in. That's going to be Sanji though, who comes in out of nowhere. Coming in again onto Venus. Not going to be able to find it just yet. Wise still able to get out for a bit with a shield unity, and he gets to safety. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Blacklist.
All right, so there's a clapback. Blacklist, given that Echo had to split up their priorities. Turtle says Karl'tezi, no, fight, they say, and they're still going.
Sanford again! Jumps in, finds Haji. Oheb trying to melt him down, but it's not going to be enough as he is actually able to just get the damage out. Oheb now gonna be targeted down so low. He flickered out of there, but he's still gonna be caught. Yaoi finds the Divine Judgment. No commitment just yet. Echo decide to pull back.
All right, touche. We pull a treaties for now. 8 minutes in, 3K ahead Echo. What's the item game looking like?
The item game is just showing Sanford. He only has the Bloodless Axe as a damage item and the Dominance Eyes just for armor. But again, looking at that, Sanford really should have died. But because Dominance Eyes now lowers the attack speed of your opponent, so Oheb doesn't have maximum attack speed at that point, and he just out-heals Oheb.
Oh man, you can see the carry is just so behind. Corrosion Staff, Golden Staff, he needs that with the nature, but he also needs an Athena at this point, right? There's so much damage output that Echo can deal, and Blacklist are just not ready for that kind of dive.
Yep, it looks like Echo evolved their strategy from game 2, wherein it's not the amount of damage you have, it's where you put it, given the skill shots that Echo have to get in to be able to get these kills. Now 13-6. It just shows that they are playing off of momentum.
Oh, look at this. Oheb
gonna be stunned up, gonna be taken down by the Torn Apart Memory. Flicker out by Benny QT as Wise is looking to re-engage with Edward as well. That's a stun coming in. Benny still able to escape, and he faced the entire team. The Petrify and the Furious Dive connecting on to Benny QT. And Xiaoi jumps in. Benny's still alive! Karl'tezi taunts them up. It's a double kill for Sanji. Echo Philippines, the House of Highlights.
And it's just Oh My Venus left. It's as free a lord as it gets for Echo. barreling on forward, 5K ahead. LaFell, how does Blacklist come back?
Blacklist did everything right. That was not a mistake. Like, they managed to get Medicutie. Medicutie dashes away. He still got caught. And Blacklist, they still lost. Yawi was able to pull Edward away. Like, again, it's not that Blacklist. They did the engage round. They did everything right. And it still wasn't enough. That's very discouraging.
This breaks the whole concept of the metagame that is box-centric, and it's all about geometry because Echo aren't playing with any clear lines here. They're playing from a point-to-point basis, right? Yawi point and click, Sanji point and click, Benny point and click. Carl TZ is the only one really setting up where Echo can fight, and they always find the right places.
I honestly don't understand how Sanji keeps getting the hits as well, but right now Blacklist fights back.
Oh, they find a kill onto the jungler. Carl TZ gonna fall. Yawi looking for a re-engage as the Lord marches down in the bottom lane. Sanji picking up the tier 2 in the mid lane. Blacklist International micromanaging the waves properly, getting it down. Still, 7,000 gold lead for Echo. Wise opening up the map. Gets the shield unity down, but will be caught on Divine Judgment. Venus coming in, helping his jungler. Now is Benny QT is going to be able to get petrified down. That's going to be Sanji who finds the unstoppable in the back line with Sanford as well. The San duo on the back line. Wise going to be targeted down. Sanji not able to connect just yet. You held your breath there. Edward now running away. Yawi still dishing the damage out. Sanford comes in again. And Benny with the follow-up to finish him off.
That sword spike was about an inch away from Wise. If Sanji had it hit, would have been over for King Wise. But that doesn't change the fact that this Lord, Luminous Lord, coming up in about a minute and change, should be lethal. Oh my, Venus drops. The Luminous Blaster still going.
That's going to be the Feather Airstrike onto Yawi. Still going to be able to get out. Athena's shield popped in with Immortality as well. His torn apart memory will be thrown out. Sanford falling to the hands of Oheb as he is able to find that kill. But it's just a 1-for-1. Echo decides to back off. Base turret still up, except that top side.
So in the defense, Blacklist had their priorities split up. Take down members of Echo, clear the waves. Something's got to give. That's that inhibitor up top. That's permanent damage.
Yeah, right now, Echo, they've already set up their checkmate because the Lord is going to come up. That is going to be something that Blacklist have to contest. Now the question is, can they even contest it?
And LaFell, to add to that, it's in the long lane. It's in the opposite lane that Lord is in. It's very clear, it's inevitable that Penny's gonna try to do the same thing.
I mean, we talked about this. This is how they play. They set up the map to their own favor to make sure they have multiple ways to actually win the game. They can win through a team fight. They can win through getting Oheb, through getting Haji, or just going straight beeline to the king, dropping down the base itself. So this is beautiful coming in from Echo. It's more or less the same thing, but executed in a different way.
They're playing with inevitability. Echo have played to a brilliant situation right now. They're 7K ahead. They're making easy work of this Lord, and Wise checking in. V pulls the conceal.
They've committed a lot of resources here. That's the non blast, not finding anyone. Yawi looking for the Divine Judgment, able to find Wise as they try to burst down the Lord. Lord to be secured right now, is asking for the winner's punch in by Sanji to buy a little bit more time again. Benny!
Wise got it!
With the flicker again to find a torn apart memory! Yawi's looking for more. That's going to be the Petrify and the Furious Dive used up. Sanford jumping in with Bravest Fighter. Oh my god! Sanford! Benny! Sanji called TZ Yawi! They keep styling on Blacklist!
That's 4 for 1. Lord as well going over to Echo. They're gonna push bottom lane, and they are going to threaten the game end. They catch Oheb!
Again, under the base. Oheb very low. It's match point for Echo!
The world champions have never been pushed to the limit, not like this. Echo Express are pummeling on through. They are at match point.
Here's the thing, man.
What are we watching?
We're watching history. Defending champions. Will they be able to defend? Because again, it's not like reverse sweep doesn't happen. It does happen. Even though Echo, it looks like they're very oppressive, it's not game over because again, we've seen time and time again. In fact, M1, reverse sweep happened. It can still happen here, but I gotta say, as an analyst, I'm watching the game 1, game 2, game 3. They're more or less the same. Go to one lane, grab 2 turrets, set up the checkmate. In all 3 games, Echo is able to set up the checkmate.
Just honestly, what was that? Every member, I know we said this, we've been saying this, but seeing it in the grand finals, where all 5 members are in form, where all 5 members know exactly what to do at every given minute, it is a sight to behold. Echo already putting their foot down here. Match point against the defending M3 champions.
It is team fight excellence. They know how to re-engage, they know how to find the right targets, and say what you will about experimentation and how it may have resulted for them in the knockout stage. But now, with a debuting Gusion, Echo puts Blacklist International at match point. They threaten taking home the M4 trophy, and I am here for it.
Dude, Sanford, Lapu-Lapu, Benikiri with this Brody, they've been saving it.
Every play was a TikTok play.
And with that, we'd like to remind everybody of the TikTok Live Carnival. Cheer up for M4 and watch the matches on TikTok. Participate in Cheer Up for M4 activities by watching M4 matches on TikTok and using M4 exclusive customized gifts to cheer up for the teams. There will be a chance to be on TV too and win abundant gifts. Take a sneak peek at M4 events and be the first to receive info all about these rewards that you can get. The M4 Pass will be available on the 20th of December with exclusive awards such as the Beatrix Light Chaser skin, the Beatrix Stellar Brilliant skin, and the M4 Beatrix figurine. Emotes, sacred statues, spawn effects, recall effects, and avatar borders and trail effects await you. You can get all the special skin as well, the War Lion, for free by completing tasks too. Starting the 24th of December, the M4 support chest will be available in-game. Open it to get loads of M4 Pass EXP and stand a chance to receive a mysterious gift. On the day of the M4 Grand Finals, that's the day, the 15th of January, expect to get an avatar border for free. In the M4 Battle Night event, that's on the 21st, unlock a skin chest by completing tasks and pick a skin of your choice within the chest. Use the hashtags Mobile Legends Bang Bang, hashtag MLBBM4, and hashtag Dare to Be Great when talking about it on social media. Speaking of which, SOCMED should be going wild right now.
Oh, yeah.
Echo at 3-0? Echo at 3-0?
Yo, you know what? The chat, everyone watching, let's talk about Sanford, Sanji, and Benikiri. That was amazing.
Make them trend. Folks, we'd love to talk forever about it, but we need to throw it over to our analysts to break it down further.
Thank you, casters. Breaking news. A revolution is about to begin. A new generation of Filipino Mobile Legends is here today, and we're here to break it down for you step by step. My name's Getting Q. This is going to be Assassin Dave with Wolf here on the stand. Gusion, boys, the hot topic of this match. Walk me through this.
Sanji Gaming. And also Sanford Gaming, but Sanji Gaming, right? That was San Gaming. I mean, like, what else? Can you describe it?
Oh man, it's very difficult to really not talk about both Sanji and Sanford. The fact that they are the youngest players, at least in this grand final, and they're really looking like they're the boss. Sanford was amazing, and the casters were really talking so much about it. We were talking about it during when we were watching the game. Sanford was on point, on the mark, and even Sanji with his Gusion play, he outstyled Blacklist International in game number 3.
The young fingers. That's all I can say. Way too good.
Way too good.
Really way too good overall. I mean, I have to give it to Sanford here. I really hope he gets an MVP, or even Sanji. Both of them absolutely deserve it. But what could Blacklist could have done in this particular situation?
Oh, they really wanted to go for the burst down with all of their magic damage, right? Even when you think about the Baxia, you want to make sure that Echo will not be able to sustain. However, they kind of lost the integrity of their Lord fight. Whereas for Echo, you can see with Carl TZ, the Fredrin, the ultimate, use it together with the Retribution. Turtle 1 belongs to Echo. Eventually, they itemize properly with double Athena shield on both Carl TZ and Yaoi, making it so that Blacklist International had severe lack of damage.
I mean, severe lack of damage is an understatement overall. I feel like the preparation coming in from Echo is beyond. They know every move coming out from Blacklist. They knew that Haji was going to come in late. They knew how they wanted to move across the map. They're pathing of all things.
And also, take a look at the damage dealt, right? 214,000 compared to 160k. The whole game, you can see Echo was just more open to do damage, right? We're in the backstage talking about, okay, what can be the mid lane pick? Maybe it's Valentina was still open. You got so many great all-you-can copy, right? The Farsa ult, Lolita ult. There's so many good ult. But they decided to go with the burst. They have the Kaja, played by Yaoi. And Echo's playing really decisive and aggressive today, right? That's shown from the damage. That's shown from the damage participation from Sunji, 74% kill participation. Whew, Yaoi and an entire Echo, they're just popping out today. I mean, like, this is match point now.
Yeah.
For Blacklist. For Echo, a Blacklist. You really have to step it up.
You know, I think that Echo really prepared for this because when they went up against RRQ yesterday during the finals, the lower bracket finals, they went for the macro economics. Right? They took the map. This time, we're so aggressive. The Echo connection was really strong today.
More like the Echo location coming up from the Orcapod. Sanford, our MVP of this game. I don't think anybody has any doubts overall. Dude. And honestly, with the performance coming in from Sanford alone throughout this series so far, I am getting M1 vibes when Luminaire was nominated to be the MVP.
Yeah, Gideon was yelling, like when we were backstage, just like standing, jumping out of the seats, looking at the play from Sanford. This guy is mechanic god, and on top of the fact, he also a macro god, right? He was rotating from bottom lane to top lane without losing the bottom tier 1 tower, finding the flank, finding double kill onto the backline Blacklist. Oh my goodness, what a player. Let's take a look off the heat map from 5 to 10 minutes off this player.
Oh, I can really fairly remember what he did into the top lane, but he was literally over the map, right? At least on the side of Echo, they dominated. Now, I want to say, you did say M1 vibes, right? For me, it was F2 vibes. Remember when Ruby DD made that iconic? Everybody will remember that. Ruby DD asked the Ruby DD play.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to see the Sanford play. Utilize the Bravest Fighter to the flicker with a very off angle onto the top lane under the turret, catching 2 members of Blacklist International. He did the Sanford, bro.
Dude, he's literally got a font after him at this point. Nobody knows what the font is exactly, but he knows he made a name staple of the word. Well done to Sanford. Overall, an absolute monster. And just the spatial awareness and the foreshadowing that he could perceive in these games. What a boss.
Yes, who else but Sanford to pull off a Sanford play here? Let's take a look at the first turtle. You can see Sunji and Sanford onto the back line. The Goosh, the Sen combo, right? And this is where Lapu with the Bravest Fighter into the flicker onto the back line here. Yeah, look at this.
Oh! So beautifully done. He knew the angle. He first saw it. This man looks into the future.
Look in the future, and look at Sunji at the same time assassinating the backline along with the help of Sanford. Even though he eventually fall right here, but at what cost? Every time for Blacklist, this is a heavy toll if you try to target Sanford. And over here, I don't think even Lapu died. The amount of like determination Echo has on diving, on doing the damage, not being afraid, not holding back is insane in this game.
This was the Echo Trojan horse play where they did try to take out one of the members of Blacklist and then they baited him out. Eventually just running down the members of Blacklist International again into the front lines. You can see Sanford, but my oh my, Cutie. Oh my goodness, everybody's just doing well actually on the side of Echo.
Oh, so brutal, so beautiful. The highest class of Mobile Legends we have ever seen. I cannot believe we get to witness this. We are just mere mortals watching gods battle it out here in Jakarta.
Isn't every M series is making a brand new star, right? And this M series seems like Sanford's in the making right now, right? Of that, where every single strike he's taken, every single move he's building is a strike towards that FMVP.
It truly is. But match point for Echo right now. For us here at the stand, we're going to be signing off. Casters, take it away.
Away we shall take it. Welcome back. We're setting up for game 4. Echo have pushed the defending champions into match point. At your service, as always, my name is Leo, joined here by Mirko and Lafel. And it's fair to say that we can't stop singing the praises for Echo. But now we have to consider, what exactly does Blacklist International have to do to bounce back?
Before I even say that, I just want to protect my good friend, Assassin Dave. When he said the F MVP, he meant the finals MVP.
Yes.
Yeah. Context is important, ladies and gentlemen. Context.
All right, back to the topic, right? Blacklist, how do they come back from this? They got to start from the drafts, right? Because the drafts here, I believe, have been good. They have been responding. But with the Farsa in the first phase, I understand why it's Prio, but you got to understand that the Lapu of Sanford, or even just the Yuzong, the Benedetta, anything that can dive into the back line that Sanford still has to play with, you need to respect that, right? And I think right now, with the Diggy and the Estes banned out, they need to respect that more than ever.
Forgive me for saying, but I kind of feel like it's not about the draft anymore. Because I think just the bans itself is already pretty great. But the thing is, looking at how Echo has been playing, it's not that they've been playing the exact same heroes over and over again. They change, but the way they execute it is roughly the same. Because even in game number 3, like I said, Yaoi getting level 4, and then where do they pressure? Oheb. Oheb, Haji. Oheb, Haji. Don't let these two play. And then you win the game because you don't have to change too much of how you approach the game. You just adapt to it. It's like, okay, whatever you guys pick, we'll still be able to do what we did in game number 1, 2, and 3.
And if you're looking at game 3, you're talking about impact heroes and players. You're seeing Sanford clearly, right?
Wow.
Our MVP for game 3. But for Blacklist, it was wise. He was trying to do too much. He was trying to help set up ganks. He was looking at objectives, vision for his team, peeling, and again, where do you place yourself when you're getting pressured by one such Sanford? And even Sanju debuted the Gushin. That's a lot of burst.
I don't know how to answer that question, right?
There is no answer.
There is no answer.
It's
You're
rhetoric.
right. It's so tough, man. I believe, again, we mentioned it in game, the execution, how they were playing. They did the best they could. It was literally the best case scenario for them in terms of how they were rotating, how they were looking for fights, how they were prioritizing targets too. They went into Benny, who was overextending, who was overcommitting, but they weren't able to find it.
If I'm allowed to say so, this might sound like heresy, but the way Echo is playing now, so far in these 3 games, again, you mentioned it's not like they're trying out too crazy things or introducing too many elements into their draft. It's like they're the new Blacklist. They just need to change a few things and then approach it the same way. But instead of the whole calculated and slow-paced and very deliberate way of taking games, dominating, the difference is Echo is explosive.
In my personal opinion or my personal view, is just that make the game simple. Trust your players' mechanics because that's what's been going on. Getting 2 turrets. Who do you catch? Oheb and Haji. Don't think about anyone else. Trust your instincts. Trust your mechanics because being on the world stage, you have so many things to think about. You're thinking about the hundreds of thousands of people watching you play. The crowd here roaring. The players are hearing it all. We casters are talking about their game. You have to be able to shut everything quietly, simplify it, and then just play your game.
And we'll see if that will be enough for Blacklist International to dent Echo's record, because so far, Echo have been flawless. They have executed everything perfectly, including the draft. We're about to go into game number 4. Major decisions are about to be made here. It's Blacklist on the play. Echo answering back. There goes the Cho. There goes the Kaja. Echo bans out the 1-1 and the Estes.
Man, last game, game number 3, in the draft, Blacklist International were able to secure 2nd pick. That was the most, well, that side is the most success they found in M4. 72% win rate on the red side as the 2nd pick. Echo just shattered that, and now they're taking back the 2nd pick away from Blacklist International. Were forced, again, to their 1st pick. It's not a bad win rate for them. It's still like 60%. But Echo, this is where they shine in the 1st pick, and in the 2nd pick here, we're gonna see Blacklist securing the Eve. Echo, what do they respond with? They respond with Glue and Fredrin. Deja vu.
Yeah, right now, whatever Blacklist brings out, this has to be their absolute best draft because right now Echo is feeling pretty good, but for Blacklist, this is a best of 1. And Echo continues the trend. not allowing the Queen to use the Estes. They managed to get the Diggy, but if you see a Diggy, what do you have to do? You have to kill the Diggy over and over and over and over again. So now, I kind of feel like Echo, they completely expected this. So even though right now Blacklist, it seems like they're getting their heroes, I have this feeling in the back of my head, Echo is actually drafting for Blacklist.
Yeah, I agree with you. Given how fast they're responding, given how...
Make the difference here is Echo betting on the gold laners, right? They've already gotten the 1-1 and the carry out. This is their opportunity. They have the first pick in the second phase. This is
the fact that they're picking up the Hilda. The only thing that I can think about, because usually you pick the Hilda to fight against assassins, but you can also fight against a lane going up with the Diggy, because sure, usually people take supports, healing supports, kind of like a Rafaela just to top yourself off, but you're still giving free stats over to Diggy. With a Hilda, you could dive early.
Powering BLCK here in the M Series in the grand final stage is he doesn't care about what the others think anymore. It's just for him and for his team.
As a veteran, he's got nothing to lose now, right? He is in the biggest stage. They pick up the Lunox. And this is such a brilliant Lunox pick because it's a flex pick.
Yeah, it's still flexible.
They saved the mid lane and the gold lane is the last pick, and now you...
The damage is there. They already have the Lunox. With this kind of draft, you can spiral out of control. You can build a hurricane, and it's a hurricane that's very difficult to stop.
Yep.
Not many places that you can maneuver around the Mystic Field. All they got to do right now for Echo, crush two, just take 2 turrets in any lane, and then establish jungle control.
Journey out, the best.
Game plan. Don't diverge too far. Haji, Oheb, don't let them be free. That's all you got to do.
And guess what? Winning lane for Sanford too. Edward gonna have a tough time in the mid lane. Haji should be able to win this out in a 1v1, but...
1v1 or at least a pickoff before the Laos is for Echo to have a priority with the turtle. They're already pushing for it. Carl Teasy and Sanford.
And that range advantage is already doing work right now. Carl Teasy on the Lord. Edward trying to steal it, but with no retribution. Carl Teasy is just going to be able to poke Edward down, securing the first objective of the game. Oh no, this isn't a
setup. Echo, who are they pressuring? Haji, as well as Oheb, and now, just for addition, Wise as well. They're pushing around mid. They're pushing around the gold lane, and now it looks like they could have a possibility of controlling the jungle.
Will disengage.
4 minutes in, Echo's already cornered Black, forced them with an early Ube just to protect Oheb.
Yeah, and again, look at what they're doing. They're sacrificing the EXP lane, going all the way to the gold. You have enough damage. We've seen time and time again, this Beatrix will shred on the Lord. But I feel like they should let this go. It's just so luminous. It's not
for, right? They're going for trades right now. You can already see it, but Sanji's going to be able to clear out the mid lane. They traded for a tier 1 down below for the first Lord of the...
Committing. And that's what 8K gold buys you ahead of your opponent. Now, 15 minutes.
Go for a 4-1, but now Wise eating someone.
Again, Oheb's going to be chunking